Ladies, there's an elephant in the room and we're gonna go ahead and address it. I have been on social media, especially on Instagram, starting in 2020. So it's been a 3-year journey of influencing, if you may call it. I mean, I have 154,000 followers, 95,000 on TikTok. I don't consider myself an influencer. I just post about my life. I post my outfits, but people consider me an influencer. But there is something about my life that I have never shared before. And it's very hard for me to talk about it. And I don't like people to know this type of information. But today's going to be the day that I share this information with you all. And I'm probably not going to share this on any other platform but on YouTube. And I want to let you all know, basically, I was able to travel to Colombia. So for starters, I want to let you all know that regardless of whatever information you guys hear from me today, I don't want you to think of me differently. I don't want you to think of me any lesser than what you already have thought of me before, because this is like I said, this is like very personal to me. And if you don't know me personally, I don't like to share this information, but like I said, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and share it today, but I really hope that this really does not affect the way that you guys see me. I arrived here to the United States. I just turned 8, and like a week later, we moved to the United States. I was just starting 2nd grade in Colombia. I was still learning how to read and all of that. So when I arrived here to the US, I came with a visa with my mom and my dad. So obviously they were not gonna leave me in the country, in Colombia. So they brought me to the United States, and my parents decided to stay here, and their visa expired. So basically they stayed here illegally. So I grew up like this. I went to elementary school, I went to middle school, and I went to high school. When it was the time for me to start driving, I was kind of in shock to find out that I was actually illegally here in the United States, in the country that I grew up in the country that I thought was my country. And it was kind of like traumatic for me when I was in high school that I wasn't going to be able to drive when my peers started driving. So that was basically a little bit of my childhood and how I grew up and all of that. President Obama came up with DACA, and for those who don't know, it's for people who are like myself. So I consider myself a dreamer. I am a dreamer. I arrived here to the United States when I was a kid. I grew up in the United States, and I rarely remembered anything about Colombia. I mean, I remember like the minimal things. And I grew up here. I speak English, and I speak English in my house. My kids, they speak English mostly. They speak very little Spanish. I'm trying to teach them how to speak Spanish, but just like, that's my life, you know? So yeah, I mean, I hadn't been in my country since I was a kid. And people ask me, how come you don't go visit? And how come you don't go visit your family or go travel and this and this and that, whatever. That's the reason why. And I am not allowed to exit the United States. So DACA does protect you from deportation from the United States. You do get an employment authorization card. So I do have employment authorization, and I can work legally in the United States. I have a social security number. So with that, I was able to buy a house. I have a driver's license. I'm able to live a normal life here. The only difference between myself and someone who is here like legally 100% is that they can actually travel outside of the United States. Anyways, my dad got sick and he was in the ICU. He was in the hospital for 20 days. I applied for advanced parole. And basically, I think that if you have DACA, this is my first time ever actually trying to apply for anything, because I'm always scared if I leave, if I was going to be able to come back. So I've never even actually tried to do anything with advanced parole whatsoever. But there are 3 reasons that you can exit the United States and come back. And one is a humanitarian reason, which is the reason that I left. There is like educational, if you need to go outside of the United States to go take some courses, or if you need to go work. So if your job requires you to exit the United States, you can apply for an advanced parole as well. So this time around, I applied with a humanitarian purpose because my dad was in the ICU and he was really sick, and I thought I was gonna lose him. So literally, as soon as I found out that he went to the hospital and that I may not be able to see him again, I did my application. I did it all by myself. So if you guys have any questions about that, I'm really happy to answer any questions about how to do the process, because I know I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I watched attorneys and I did a whole bunch of research trying to find out how to do this application correctly and how to do it fast and how to do it like emergency. I spent a lot of money with passports basically because I didn't have my passport up to date, but hopefully you have your passport up to date. But anyways, I applied for advanced parole and I was able to travel to Cali. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you all my story with a little vlog of my little journey. I just got out of USCIS. And I'm so filled with emotions right now because I have not been in my country since I was 7 years old, and I'm going back. I'm gonna be able to see my dad, and I'm just so happy. And hopefully that everything works out well and they allow me back in. But I have the letter that allows me to come back in to the USA. I mean, the USA is basically my home, and hopefully everything works out well. But I'm going to Colombia. We're here at the Atlanta Airport Agency, something like that, passport agency. With Sophie, we're gonna get her passport so we can be able to travel. What is it, like?
It's
5
like
days?
this, yeah.
5
It's
days
like this
until
one
travel?
day. Yeah.
5 days until our travel date. So, are you excited?
Yeah.
And the day arrived that we had to leave. We had to say bye to my husband and my other 2 kids, and it was a very emotional day because we had never been apart from each other for such a long time. I mean, we were only going for 10 days, but we've been married for 16 years and we've never been apart for so long. So it was very emotional to say bye. This was 3 a.m. in the morning. We live an hour and a half away from the airport. So we left at 1:30. And surprisingly enough, the airport was full of people. Our check-in was pretty easy. So we checked in our bags and then we headed to TSA. TSA took about 2 hours. So this is our tired faces. It's surprising to see how many people travel in the middle of the night. So if you're traveling overnight, please go ahead and arrive to the airport early because there's lines everywhere. This was a view of the sunrise on our way to Miami. We had a 2-hour layover in Miami, so we were going to take advantage to get some coffee, get some breakfast, get water, use the restroom, and rest for a little bit. But to be honest, you don't really rest in airports because there's a lot of walking that you have to do, find your gate, and you are just exhausted from the day. Luckily, Miami had this little train that we took to be able to skip the walking because we were tired. We had actually just gotten like 1 hour of sleep in the airplane. We were not in the mood of walking.
Please exit to the right.
You just saw the skyline of Miami, which I thought it was really cool that you could see it from the train in the Miami airport. We got ourselves some coffee and I had packed some sandwiches for breakfast in Miami, and we were sitting down with a pretty cool view of the airplane. So we are in Miami and we're about to board to Cali. I hope that everything goes well. Anyways, yesterday we got home from Valdosta, Georgia, and we actually went to show houses, and then we got home like around 7 p.m. And when I got home, I had to record like 3 reels. I had to send it off for a client, and I had to do like a whole lot of other things before I started packing. We started packing at around 9 or 9:30 p.m. right, Sophie? And we had to leave the house at 1:30 a.m. because we leave like around 2 hours away from the airport. So we basically did not get any sleep last night, and we basically just took a shower, packed. We unpacked from Valdosta, and then we packed for our trip to Colombia. So we were already exhausted from our trip to Valdosta because it was really exhausting. My body still hurts from that. And so yeah, we didn't get any sleep. And now we're in Miami and we're tired, very, very tired. Sleepy, our bodies hurt. Sophie says her feet hurt, and yeah, we walked a lot in Wild Adventures. We were there. We woke up 5 a.m. and we were up until like 11 p.m. And then the next day we woke up early too to be able to travel back. So it's been very, very, very busy, and a lot of walking and a lot of being active and all of that. But we're excited, and let's see how our trip goes, and hopefully everything goes well and we're able to get to Colombia and come back safely. Exiting the United States was not a problem. I did not have a problem exiting Atlanta, and I did not have a problem exiting Miami to take the international flight to Cali. We were tired, but the views were amazing. We passed over Cuba. We passed over Jamaica. The water of the ocean looked so pretty from the airplane. We really enjoyed the views. So we're going to share with you all a little bit of a glimpse of our views that we got on the airplane. Made it to Cali. We are kind of nervous because we don't know what to expect at immigration in Colombia. My daughter traveled as a U.S. citizen, and we did have to fill out a form, which is called Immigration Colombia, and we have to present it here with immigration when you arrive. But we passed through immigration, we passed through customs, and we didn't have a problem, and we exited and entered the country. My uncle and my aunt picked us up. This was my first time coming to Colombia in a long time, and it actually felt really weird to be outside of the United States. I felt like it was a dream. I felt like I felt like it was in a whole other country that I didn't even know. Anyways, we were on our way to see with my dad. He was still in the hospital, so we're gonna go see him over there. Hold this. Show me. After being in ICU for so long, he was not able to grab the spoon or grab things or move around by himself. So he's trying still to get used to stuff. But I was here helping him to eat because he cannot eat by himself. We stayed in my uncle's and my aunt's place, and they have an amazing view. I love the view from their bedroom. They have a really cute balcony, which is basically where I recorded all my reels when I stayed here in Colombia. And basically I did like a 10-day travel outfit from Colombia, and I recorded everything from the balcony, and I thought it was perfect because it was so pretty. The next day, my dad got out of the hospital and he was able to come up downstairs. I brought him with a wheelchair. I still fed him, but he was happy. Being in Colombia felt weird because I did have memories from when I was very little. But then at the same time, I kind of felt like it was another country that I didn't know about. And it was very weird because people, when I was over there, they didn't really think I was from there. They thought I was from the U.S., And like they thought I was not from there. Even though I talk Spanish, they knew that I was not from there. But then when I'm here in the US, then the US doesn't accept me as from here. They think I'm from there. And it just feels so weird to be actually think that or feel like you don't belong anywhere. Well, Mother's Day came and I felt tragic. Every single Mother's Day I cry. I feel sad and I feel gloomy because I don't have my mom and she's not alive anymore. And I also felt extra sad because my dad ended up back in the hospital. He ended up back in the hospital the day before, and not being with my kids and my family, it just really had me really sad. Estoy aquí con mi papá en el hospital y quería mandarles un saludo a todas ustedes porque han estado muy pendientes de él y todos los mensajes tan lindos que le han mandado y por las oraciones y por todo eso. Ahí se los voy a pasar.
Y yo.
Se quiere poner a llorar. A ver.
Agradecido por todo ustedes. Con todos ustedes.
Dice que está muy agradecido con todos ustedes por los que van.
Dios me sanó. Hizo el milagro. Ya yo estoy ya 70% bien.
Dice que Dios lo sanó y que ya hizo el milagro, que está 70% bien.
Y muy contento.
Muy contento. De la visita de la hija y la nieta.
Muchas gracias.
Well, we spent 10 days in Colombia and it was time to say goodbye. Time to say goodbye to my dad because our trip is over. Luckily, while I was there, he got out of the hospital like 2 hours before I was left at the airport. So I was able to leave him without being in the hospital. And here is a video that he recorded right before we left. You'll be able to tell that he's talking better.
Estoy muy contento de que mi hija María Alejandra y Sofía han estado aquí visitándome, compartiendo conmigo unos días. Y bueno, que el Señor me las bendiga y me las bendiga y me las proteja siempre. Que para todos los de Estados Unidos, un abrazo, un beso y un saludo. Estoy mejorando, gracias a Dios.
Ya, hoy acabas de salir del hospital y ya llegaste a tu hogar, que es lo bueno.
Sí.
Bueno. All right, we said goodbye and then we were dropped off at the airport. We were dropped off at 10 p.m. There are no chairs and we had to sit here in the airport until 4 a.m. So about 6 hours of no sleep, taking care of our bags for safety purposes until they allow us to check in our bags and get our tickets. Since we had our bags, I decided to clean my face with some wipes, brush our teeth in the bathroom, and I took off my contacts as well so I can rest my eyes. It was already 4 a.m. and we were here trying to check in our bags and get our tickets, but we had to wait for a whole hour because they had to contact the U.S. to confirm that I was paroled and I was able to fly back. After they got confirmation from the U.S. that I was paroled, they allowed me to get my tickets and check in my bags. And then we went through TSA and Immigration Colombia. They give you a stamp on your passport saying that you're traveling out of the country. And you also have to provide them again with your parole letter saying that you're able to fly. We flew to Colombia and back with the American Airlines credit card. I used points for my ticket and paid for Sophie's. Because I have the American Airlines credit card, I get a priority pass, which gives me access to VIP lounges. This is one of the VIP lounges that they provide. This one is in Cali. It's really pretty and it was way more comfortable than being outside with all the people. They have the sofas, they have chairs, they have drinks, they have snacks, they have showers and private bathrooms. So it was very relaxing to be here. We got some drinks and then we headed to the bathroom. We didn't have enough time to take a shower, but we did get some coffee and some pastries. It was around 6 a.m. in the morning and we hadn't slept, so we rested here for a little bit right before our airplane left.
Again, before boarding the plane, you have to provide with your passport, your ticket, and also the parole letter saying that you can fly back to the United States. You have to provide it again. Every single time I provided the parole letter, I was really nervous, but I think that the most nervous part for me was arriving to Miami airport and then having to go through immigration and providing the parole letter there and knowing that they're the ones who have the final word and the final power to send me back to Colombia or allow me back in, which I was very nervous about because my other kids were here. My husband was here. My house is here. My life is here. And I was just like in the verge of my seat trying to find out what was going to happen, but hoping and trusting in God that I was going to be able to come back into the United States. But nevertheless, it was very stressing and it was very scary. Bueno, yo estaba un poco nerviosa. I was a little nervous, but I was kind of calm as well at the same time because I was trusting God and I was just looking forward to see my family and all of that. So we made it through immigration. We're out. We have to go to TSA again, and basically we're going to Atlanta. Our flight was delayed, but as long as we get to go back home, that's the important thing. Well, we made it to Atlanta and I'm so excited. I'm so tired. I'm so hungry. We haven't eaten anything besides the cookies from the airplane and an apple. So it's 6 o'clock in the afternoon. We've been out since 9:30 a.m. yesterday and it feels like it's been like one whole day for us. It's been really exhausting, but I'm really excited to go out and see Max and go home and see my kids. So when our flight got delayed in Miami, 2 of our bags got lost and they basically flew on the airplane we were supposed to be on, and they only gave us 1 in Miami. So we're excited that when we got here, they were already here and we didn't really have to come back another day or be worried that they lost them or something. So yeah, we got all our bags. Boom. What is this? What is this? Max, what is this? Oh my gosh.
I'm not done.
It looks so good.
Wait, Ma, you wanted this?
I didn't want to. I mean, I didn't think about it, but I like it.
I have to fix it.
Oh my gosh.
This is definitely different. If you're still watching until now, thank you all so much for watching our little trip. Let me know if you have any questions. I did see some questions coming on Instagram about our trip, and basically most of it is about documents, what type of documents you need and price and all that kind of stuff. I'll share more of that information on my Instagram stories, but basically about documents, you do not need a visa. If you have a US passport, you do not need a visa to go to Colombia. So all you need is your U.S. passport. You buy your ticket and fill out your immigration Colombia form before you travel, and that's it. It's pretty easy to go and come back. If you need any procedures, if you need any dental work, if you need anything to make yourself more beautiful, everything is so much cheaper over there. Food is so much cheaper. Is it safe? I think it's safe as long as you keep yourself safe. I did get a lot of comments of saying don't try not to speak English while you're there, because then they'll charge you more money. And that's one of the things that I try not to do, is speaking English in front of people. But I don't know, for some reason they still knew that I was not from there. Anyways, I don't know. And then the other thing is, don't use your phone in public or try to go like this, because motorcycles will come by and rob your phone. And I was trying to be very careful with that, because everyone says the same thing, that there are a lot of robbers. There's a lot of robbery over there, and human trafficking and all that kind of stuff. So just keep yourself safe. Don't put yourself in dangerous situations, and you will be fine. And that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other questions. I'll probably make a part 2 answering questions or something like that, depending if I have any questions in the comments. If not, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.